to your Personal Power Boost with Dr. Verna, a global force for transformation, unlocking human potential one leader at a time. Are you looking for a boost to help you reclaim your personal power? Then this is your weekly source, where we dive into conversations about navigating your professional and life journey. So, take a deep breath, open up your heart, and get ready to ignite your leadership and fuel your spirit. Let's go. Welcome back to Personal Power Boost with Dr. Verna, and I'm Dr. Verna Cornelia Price. For those of you who are brand new, for those of you who are my returners, great to have you back. Thanks for coming back. Keep listening, and please remember to share. Okay, make me a promise. You're going to share with 5 people this week. 5 of your coworkers, 5 of your family members, 5 of your friends, just 5. Just give me a high five, right? Just give Dr. Verna a high five and share this. I am trying to get to 1,000 subscribers to this podcast. And why is that so important? Because once I hit 1,000 subscribers, it actually opens up the airways to take this message around the world. We can get this message to the world faster. And I don't know about you, but this message of understanding your personal power to make positive changes in your life, in your world, and to do good is so needed right now. We need it in our lives, in our families, in our workplaces. We need it in the world. So help me, give me a high five, and send this to 5 people and say, hey, when you listen to Dr. Verna, you are going to want to keep listening. So subscribe, and they'll send it to 5. And before you know it, we will have this around the world so people can change their lives and do good for themselves and do good for humanity. I don't know about you, but I want every last one of my neighbors doing good. I want every last one of my coworkers doing good. I want every last one of my staff doing good. I want everyone in my community doing good and being good and having a good life. That is what I'm after. And I believe we can do this thing together. All right. So in this next series, I am going to be teaching from it is my 3rd book, actually. My first book was The Power of People, 4 kinds of people who can change your life. My second book was The Silent Cry, dealing with subtractors in work and life. And my 3rd book is called Change Your Life in 30 Days. Now, let me just tell you, it's going to take more than 30 days, but in 30 days, you're going to begin to see dramatic changes and shifts in your life, and you're going to be happy about it. And as a matter of fact, as I am starting my new pop-up coaching series, a lot of that information will come from this book, Change Your Life in 30 Days, as well as my other books as well. So today I'm going to be talking about success habits in the workplace. And let me just say that whatever I talk about for the workplace, please do apply it to your personal lives, to your families, to your friendships, to your networks. All right, let's go ahead and start with our affirmation. In my last podcast, I literally got a phone call in the middle of my podcast, and I did not have my do not disturb on. So I didn't quite get to the closing affirmation, because a phone call came in. All right, so if you notice that, just send me a little note and say, Dr. Verna, I did notice that. So let's go ahead and start with our affirmation. This is my life, and I get to change it when I want to, how I want to, if I want to, because it was given to me. And that makes me very valuable, very important, very lovable, and extremely powerful. You have enough power in your life right now to change your life for the good. Do you hear what I'm saying? For the good. You don't have to be sad. You don't have to be anxious. You don't have to be depressed. You don't have to be, worried. You don't have to be broke. You don't have to be any of those negative things. You can have a good life. And I'm gonna teach it to you. And if you'll listen and do the work. Now, I can't do the work for you. You have to do the work for yourself. But if you will listen and do the work, guess what? Your life is going to get better. And let me just give you a tip. It'll get better fast too. All right. So in this book, I talk about success habits. What does it take to be successful? In the workplace, you are working a job where hopefully you like your job. If you don't like your job, I want you to consider what you need to do to be able to find a job that you do like, find a career that you do like, Find a team that celebrates you. And you know good and well, I believe that you should go where you're celebrated and not where you are tolerated. So in your workplace, how do you experience success more often? So this first habit of success is the habit called thinking. It's the success habit is to think. Now that might sound really basic, but the truth of the matter is that your thinking is the only place where no one can disrupt you. No one can take it away. No one can replace it. No one can even bother your thinking. Your thinking is totally your decision. You get to decide what you are going to think. James Allen, this is from day 13, is Success Habit 1 in the Change Your Life book. It's called, he says, James Allen says, good thoughts and actions can never produce bad results. Bad thoughts and actions can never produce good results, right? It's thoughts. It's thoughts. So, what I want you to do, the power of thinking is thinking, first of all, it is in the unseen. I can't see you. I can't see your thoughts. I can't see in your mind, but you know what's in your mind. And here's what I want you to do is I want you to get a hold of what you are thinking. I cannot tell you how many people, most people who go for a job interview, who's looking for a new job, do you know where they lose the job? They don't lose the job in the interview. Nope. They lose the job in the parking lot. While you're sitting in the parking lot, you start thinking this thought: I'm not going to get this. Someone is better than me. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I'm qualified. I don't think I'm going to get this job. So you take that thought, that's the thought, and just imagine your thought is like pulling you toward whatever it is you're thinking. So if you're thinking, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to land that interview and I am going to do great, right? And so here you are, that thought takes you and leads and guides you into that interview. So guess what happens? You're amazing in that interview and you land the job. On the other side, you're sitting in your car. That one person calls you who always calls to complain. Let me just give you a tip. If you're about to go into a major meeting with your manager, with your supervisor, with your boss, with your CEO, and you really need to focus, do not take the phone call from the one person who always calls with bad news. Don't take the phone call from your friend who always calls you at work and has nothing to say but complain. Do not accept the meeting that your coworker who sits in a cubicle next to you is about to come into your office and actually dump their drama on you. Don't do it. Why? Because it's going to totally twist your thinking and you will not be able to focus and get done what you have to get done in that meeting with your boss, your CEO, your manager, your teams. Why? Because you allowed your thinking to be shifted by that phone call, by that meeting, by that interaction. What am I saying to you? Protect your mind. Protect it. Protect it. And with intention, start thinking about what you really want. Start thinking about who you really want to be. No one knows. No one knows I don't know what you're thinking. As a matter of fact, when I do workshops and keynotes, sometimes I will look at a person in the crowd, there's 500 people, and I'll just spot a couple of people in the crowd, and I can tell just from looking at them that maybe they're not as engaged. But then I have to question myself and I have to say, but how do you know they're not engaged, Dr. Verna? Maybe that's just how they look when they're thinking. Maybe that's just how they look when they're concentrating. So what am I saying to you? You have no idea what someone is thinking. You've all had this happen to you. A coworker, they're in a meeting and you think that they are, on your side, and they may even say some things in the meeting where it seems like, oh my goodness, they're really for me, really on my side. And then that very coworker will go back to their office and send a terrible negative email about you to your boss, and blind copy all the people who make important decisions about your work in that organization, in that company. And here you were thinking that person was on your side. You never know what people are thinking. So do not ever make an assumption about what someone is thinking. If you want to know what someone is thinking, ask them and hope that they're going to be honest with you. Otherwise, leave it alone, because you don't know what people are thinking. But you do know what you're thinking. The success habit to think. Now, let me just say, most people do not think. Their minds are just kind of caught up in a cycle of complaining and worrying. Thinking is an action word. It's a verb. In other words, it's active. You are with intention thinking about, what am I going to do? How am I going to do it? Where am I going? What do I want to accomplish? Who do I want to be? If you're going to be successful, if you are going to change your life, you must start thinking in the direction of your change, thinking about where you want to be, thinking about what you want to accomplish. And I cannot do that thinking for you, because thinking is actually a spiritual force. No one knows what you're thinking but you and God. So when you get that thought, what you're actually going to do now is take that thought, and that thought is sooner or later, if you think it long enough and take some other success steps, that thought is going to show up right in front of your face. It's amazing what happens when you learn to think. Every once in a while, I want you to just put aside everything. Find a quiet spot. If you need, I always have my cup of tea. It's always close to me somewhere, right? I drink my tea slow, and my teacup says "Be the change." I have had this teacup for as long as I can remember, right? For years. And every once in a while, you just sip your tea slow, or your coffee, or whatever it is you're drinking, right? And you think. Give yourself some space to stop and think about your life. You want to change some things in your workplace? First, I want you to stop talking about it, and I want you to start thinking about it. If you want to change some things in your life, stop complaining about it and start thinking about it. When that happens, some things are going to change. Success habit number 1 is to think. Your intentional activation of your own spiritual force. It's your superpower, is to think. Isn't that fun? I think it's fun. Try it. It really works. All right. We're going to talk next time, but let's go ahead and finish up with our affirmation. And we're going to continue with the second success habit, and I can't wait to share it with you. So we'll see you next time. Let's go ahead and affirmation. This is my life, and I get to change it when I want to, how I want to, if I want to, because it was given to me. And that makes me very valuable, very important, very lovable, and extremely powerful. Oh, and by the way, for the book, Change Your Life in 30 Days, look underneath this podcast and you'll see the link to my website, drvernaprice.com. Get your copy, and we'll see you soon. Bye. If today's episode spoke to you, and you know it's time for a shift in how you lead, how your team connects, or how your culture performs, I want to personally invite you to take the next step. Book a free consultation at drvernaprice.com/workwithme and explore your next keynote, your leadership workshop, or executive coaching. It's time to get your power back, and it is time to get to your next level.